Excuse me, ladies. I'm Dr. Ashley. Won't you come into my office?
I'm Sophia Petrillo, and my idea of a good psychiatrist is a bartender who pours without a spout.
Doctor, I'm Dorothy's boy now.
Dorothy?
I'm Rose Nyland.
Rose.
I'm Blanche Devereaux, and I know it's not pertinent at the moment, but I'm double-jointed.
That's very interesting.
Dr. Ashley, the reason we came to the counseling center is that we're roommates and we've been having problems at home that we need to work out.
Before we get to the nitty-gritty, why don't you all tell me a little bit about yourselves?
Fine. I'm a teacher. I'm divorced.
I'm a widow. No man would leave me unless he absolutely had to. I'm 41 years old. I'm 5'6". I weigh 108 pounds, and my hair is its natural hue.
Oh. Sure, Blanche. Yours and Lucy's.
What about you, Rose?
Well, to be perfectly honest, I use a touch of peroxide.
Shut up, Rose.
You shut up!
Now, stop it. Stop it. I cannot stand it anymore.
You know what I can't stand anymore? That phony accent of yours. What is this, designing women?
Doctor, we have been together for 5 years, and we're just getting on each other's nerves.
Why? Why is that?
Because Dorothy is impossible to live with.
That's right.
The real problem is you, Blanche. You are selfish.
Oh, please. Everybody says what a giving person I am.
She's talking about when you're in an upright position.
And if you're not doing something stupid, you're saying something stupid, or wearing something stupid, or cooking something stupid.
Rose, what do you think of Blanche saying these things?
I think she's a Gurkhana knocking.
Well, what exactly does that mean?
Literally, it's the precise moment when dog dude turns white. But in general, it refers to the kind of person you don't want to share your Hugenkoggles with.
Rose, if you say one more of those stupid words, so
blow
help
it
me.
out, your tube and burbles!
We talked about Rose, we talked about Blanche. Nobody has said a word about Dorothy.
That's because they're afraid of her.
Dorothy was perfectly reasonable. You were pestering her, she was more than patient.
Exactly. And I've had it up to here with her.
It's not easy living with somebody who's always so together. She's so efficient, so organized. She even balances her checkbook.
Since when is competence a crime?
Look, Dorothy cannot be blamed for being capable.
Well, she doesn't have to lord it over us and criticize us for not living up to her standards.
She's always harping on us to do everything just right. I'm surprised she doesn't check our underwear before we leave the house.
Those of you who wear underwear.
Save your money for the moving expenses.
It was difficult to hear, but you're probably right.
I knew you were a quack. If you were a legitimate shrink, you would have strung us along for months. 4 women friends. They laugh, they cry, they eat. They love, they hate, they eat. They dream, they hope, they eat. Every time you turn around, they eat.
Sophia, are those 4 women us?
Look in the mirror, blubber butt. The point I'm trying to make is, what's going on here is living. Just because you have some rough times doesn't mean you throw in the towel. You go on living and eating.
I'll get the cheesecake.
I'll get the whipped cream.
I'll get the chocolate syrup.
I'll get the Polaroid. This is a time to remember.
Oh, you don't have a Polaroid.
I'll get mine. It's under my bed. I have to go in there for the whipped cream anyway.
Let's get into these Reddit comments, shall we? Peter can talk about his incredible marriage and his marathon of marriage counseling all he wants, but you can see the contempt and lack of respect in how they talk to, and about, each other. This is something they actually should work on in counseling. Here are some examples: name calling. They call each other asshole and idiot, and say fuck you to each other regularly. This kind of behavior signals a lack of respect. Mockery. Peter claims their relationship is so funny and based on teasing, but guess what? It is not respectful to make fun of your spouse under any circumstances. When Peter makes fun of the way Alex watches TikToks with his AirPods in and laughs loudly, won't say what he's laughing at, it's actually a bad predictor of longevity for their relationship. More recent examples. Peter complains that Alex never unpacks his suitcase after they travel. Alex is annoyed at Peter for not knowing what to wear to a quinceañera. Peter wants Alex to go over to his friend's house because they have spent like 14 days together and he needs some time alone, when he is actually home alone all day. These are just things he has shared. Eye rolling. They both do this all the time. It's bad. Contempt will kill any relationship, be it platonic friendship, romantic long-term relationship, and even a casual situationship. Wait, let me take that back. That's not IMO, that's a cold, hard fact. I will die on the hill that there's actually no marriage counselor or counselor of any type in these wild tales that Babe and Babe tell. We know that Babe recites his entire day, every day, down to the smallest detail, yet there's never any block of time that he devotes to their counseling. Brunch at Pete Shoe, we hear about every detail. Cousin Fun Day? We hear about every detail. Takeout orders, every detail. Trips to Trader Joe's for his salads, we hear about every detail. Counseling is mentioned in passing occasionally in very vague language. There is no counselor. He insists they are so loving and have such an amazing marriage. Is the amazing relationship in the room with us because I sure AF don't see it? It's got to be somewhere with his thick hair in the world of make-believe. I think there's a difference between occasionally losing one's temper, saying something nasty and deliberately ridiculing your spouse, as a form of abuse or to entertain yourself. Peter plays games for shits and giggles. There's a difference between saying something you immediately regret, in the heat of the moment, and being sadistic. Peter also doesn't take responsibility for his actions. He doesn't know how to apologize without blame shifting and minimizing his behavior. Peter claiming he has thick hair will go down in history as one of his biggest delusions. LOL. After watching Alex in the last few Q&As, I've changed my thoughts about their sad and toxic relationship. I think Alex tries to be as emotionally detached as possible, but Peter can trigger the Pope, so it's not always easy for Alex to appear unbothered. Alex visibly checks out sometimes to preserve his sanity. Tuning Peter out comes at a cost. A lot of mental energy is expended trying to be non-reactive and nonchalant. Frustration and resentment increases when emotions have to be buried or controlled. Occasionally, Alex lets his feelings show in the form of passive-aggressive remarks, disdainful and annoyed looks or eye rolls. Peter devalues Alex by calling him an idiot, cursing at him like a rebellious and awkward teenager, and ridiculing him in the form of jokes. Peter also gaslights Alex, and the audience, by saying his ridicule is his unique sense of humor that some people don't understand. Sure, Jan, those brief tears Alex cried were tears of relief because Peter's mood improved on this vacation. He was euphoric about his delusional sexiness, humping everything in sight. Living with Peter means that Alex had to learn to set firm boundaries without triggering Peter's tantrums. This is where their therapist can help. However, I don't believe their therapist is a strong or a qualified one. The therapist is probably afraid of Peter's anger. Being on the opposite end of an adult who can rage spiral at the drop of a hat ain't easy. Therapists need their own clinical supervision to deal. But I do believe there's an actual counselor because Alex continues to confirm it. Alex says that it's necessary to have marriage counseling in place. He's not afraid to call Peter out on his BS. He often corrects Peter's exaggerations and lies. It's also not a flex to say you're in marriage counseling for a decade. It doesn't bolster Peter's ego, despite him trying to spin it as a positive. Rather, it makes their marriage look unstable and weak, which it is. Dealing with narcissistic behavior means that a partner needs a high tolerance for the abnormal. A person has to know how to end conversations in a way that doesn't escalate things. They are constantly setting limits. They have to reality test with their friends and family, gaining support, validation, and love where they can. Peter mentioned that Alex will be seeing their therapist for some individual sessions. I also hope that Alex finds his own therapist who isn't involved with Peter. Alex may have a fondness for material things. He may not have cultivated a high degree of emotional intelligence in a decade of marriage counseling, but he doesn't display Peter's toxic tendencies. Peter is in a class by himself. Peter hijacked the marriage counselor for himself, seeing him privately for years. This is ineffective and uncommon. It just doesn't happen in normal and healthy marriage counseling. Peter said that he started seeing this therapist before they started marriage counseling. Alex too sees this same therapist on an individual basis. I was a bit confused as to why he's requesting for them to do individual sessions for marriage counseling and will re-meet up for a group counseling appointment after their single sessions. I know sometimes therapists will do this, but they are already seeing him individual seems a cash grab. I too wish Alex would seek a different therapist, as I think even the one they are seeking counseling through can too become a flying monkey. How's that for a screwed up twist? Yes, I remember Peter saying that. I haven't heard that Alex was continuing to see the therapist as well. I think Peter would feel way too threatened by Alex also seeing the therapist as much as he does. Peter has claimed this therapist as his own. Whether he knows it or not, the therapist is already Peter's flying monkey. Great observation by the way, and very twisted. You definitely understand narcissistic dynamics. Normal marriage counselors don't behave this way. Marriage therapists can't remain objective when each person sees them individually for years on end. Marriage counseling is its own specialty. Individual counseling is its own thing. Peter mentioned that Alex wanted to work on things independently. I hope Alex does that with his own therapist, preferably one that knows something about narcissistic interactional patterns. In my opinion, something recently happened to prompt Alex to ask for his own therapy sessions. Peter unleashes a lot of his aggression online, constantly addressing his haters in various ways. Peter was given a limit which could have made him angry and caused him to act out more at home. I'm sure that wasn't a fun time for Alex. An ethical marriage counselor should refer Alex to his own individual clinician. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Always interesting. I agree with you. I believe something prompted Alex to request the separate therapy. I always forget that the dynamic between Peter and Alex must have its tense moments, since he does that to his audience from time to time. I can't even imagine what that must be like. I think Alex probably got the brunt of Peter's aggression before Peter got on YouTube. After that, some of the tension was transferred to whoever Peter was targeting or berating online. We only see the tip of the iceberg with Peter. I'm positive Alex has been through a living hell. Peter would have us believe otherwise. That they have a warm and cozy relationship. Any therapy that does happen isn't going to produce any lasting change in Peter. It's more to manage Peter from bulldozing over Alex. He's so jealous of Alex having a social life, I think. I bet he brings that up in his crazy forever marriage counseling episode. No wonder the counselor hasn't decided to set them free and doesn't feel confident in them yet. I think their counselor is not a real therapist and is in for the money, so will not set them free anytime soon, nor will he really help them solve their problems, cause he obviously doesn't have it in him to really challenge old Pete. From the way Peter describes his sessions, it's all very accommodating, carefully geared not to bruise Peter's immense and delicate ego. Their counselor seems so incredibly basic and subservient. I would do a better job myself just from dealing with my parents' divorces, but I have also an option too. They'll never get set free cause their relationship is such a joke and it's unfixable. They absolutely hate each other. Peter makes snide offhand comments about Alex's girlfriends. During their couples Q&A, Alex told Peter it was offensive and Peter changed the subject real quick without addressing it. Yikes, I don't watch those calls, they're cringe. LMAO, don't you know? They're in a throuple now. Oh, you don't get my joke. Let me explain my joke to you over and over again for the next month. I'm so funny. Nobody gets my humor. Hey Peter, being in marriage counseling for 10 years isn't a flex, it makes you look pathetic.
Ha, yeah. Woo. Yeah. Oh. If you see a dusty condo way back in the shade with the ring light flickering and the drama on parade, you might think it's romance, but don't get it twisted fast. That ain't no love shack, baby, it's a broadcast pass. Not the love shack. No, 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 not the love shack. Love shack. Just a rant track, clap back, snack, pack, stack. Glasses on the nightstand, blogs on repeat, talking about the same thing from a decade on the street. Alex in the corner light, I'll just sip my drink while Peter's spinning stories faster than you can blink. Yow! Not the love shack. Not the love shack. Not the love shack. Yeah! More like rerun central with a coming attack. Tin roof. Rusted, nah, it's just worn off tape. Same hotels reheated like yesterday's mistakes you hear back in the day, and you already know. With 3 pensions deep and still got nowhere to go. Sign says cozy vibes, but the energy's off. It's passive aggressive with the side of a scarf. You came for the love, but you stayed for the tea. Cause the shack ain't loving, it's just commentary. Not the love shack. Clap if you know that. Not the love shack. Oh, just a drama track. Throwback. Same chat. Soldiers tied, so don't pack your bags thinking romance is alive. It's a loop of old stories just trying to survive. With the woe is me and a dramatic side stack. Baby, that ain't love. That's a playback shack. Not the love shack. Not the love shack. Not the love shack. Oh, yeah. Not the love shack.